It is Thursday, January 14th, 2021. It is 7:01 a.m. And my interview today is at 8 o'clock here in Memphis, Tennessee. So I'm going to vlog my experience. I was watching a lot of videos of other people vlogging their experience. And so I thought it'd be cool. I didn't see anybody from like my area, so I thought it'd be cool to just get a little insight on what Memphis looks like, I guess. So we are on the way, we're actually on the way to my job because I'm a slacker and forgot some stuff. Like forgot my tax returns and stuff like that. So I need to go get those. So we're on the way there, and then by the time we get to the office, it should be like what?
7:30, 7:45.
7:40. I can't go in until 7:45. It says don't even come in within 15 minutes before the appointment. So with my appointment being at 8, I guess I'll just walk out the car at 7:43-ish. I don't remember. We're going to the same place that we went to for our green card interview 3 years ago. But honestly, we don't remember where we parked. I don't remember if we parked in a garage, if we had to walk. It's cold today. It's like...
Girl, it's 39 degrees. It'll be alright. JK.
It's cold today. I'm like, it's cold. Oh, watch out. I got my flashcards. We're just going to sit in the car and review everything. I have my binder with me. So I think I have everything I need. I just need to get those tax returns and then we'll see how it goes. So fingers crossed, and I will see you when we get there. Bye! So update, we ran a little bit behind. It is now 7:45 on the dot and we're just parking. So we were hoping I would have time to just study in the car, but that's not gonna happen. So we're just gonna go for it. The parking garage here in downtown is literally right next to the building, but it's still a walk. So I guess I'll just see y'all afterwards. Bye. There's the building, the one over there, and we parked right here, just waiting, honestly. Ooh. Hello, I'm back. Oh, I got a stain on my coat. This is not good. What time is it?
It is 8:50.
It's 8:50. I'm out. I passed. He said that, well, we'll talk in the car. Hold on. I just got home. I dropped off my husband at work. But I wanted to talk about what all happened in the interview. So going in here in Memphis, it's a really big building. It's on the 7th floor of the building. So you, well, as soon as you walk in, the security guard is there and they have to let you in the elevator. I guess they have to unlock it or whatever. So you tell them what you're here for, what floor you need. So went up to the 7th floor, and then the way this office is set up is as soon as the doors open for the 7th floor, like the security checkpoint's right there. So you walk in, they take your temperature, that's the first thing they do, and then they ask you for your appointment letter and your ID. So yeah, I gave that to the lady, and then she asked me, the only COVID related question she asked me was, have I traveled in the past 14 days? Sorry, I was getting a call. I don't know if that cut off, but she asked me if I traveled out of the country in the past 14 days. I told her no. I mean, the furthest I've gone is like Mississippi. So I said no, and then she let me go through the metal detector, or I had to go through the metal detector. So there were the 2 bins, and I mean, I took this entire binder with me. So I put the binder in the bin. They make you take off your shoes, they make you take off your coat. I was kind of bundled up, so I had like a bunch of stuff to take off. I didn't have to take off my watch or anything. So of course they ask you if you have any weapons, all that stuff. So went through the metal detector, got my stuff, and then the officer told me, okay, we'll go to the guy in the window, and he'll, I guess, get you checked in or whatever. So I went up to the guy. He asked me for my letter, my appointment letter, and my ID, just to verify again who I am. And he said, okay, well, go ahead and take a seat. They'll call you in just a few minutes when they're ready for you. So that was a few minutes before 8 at that point. My appointment was at 8. And then right at around maybe like 8:15, maybe a little bit before 8:15, he called me back up again. And he said, hey, there's been a change of plans for today. We're only going to be doing virtual interviews. So basically the whole interview is going to be through iPad. You're not going to be in person with an officer. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, you can't just say no, right? So I was just like, okay, that's fine. Kind of less nerve-wracking, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I would have preferred the guy in the room. I don't know. So he was like, so we're gonna do that. Let me go ahead and get your picture and get your fingerprints. So he took my picture, he scanned my fingerprints, all that stuff. And he said, okay, well, take a seat. They'll call you in just a second. Like, they're almost ready for you. I said, okay. So waited maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. And then the officer called me by my name. And so I followed him into the hallway, followed him into the room. And it was basically, I mean, it was just like an office. I sat down, there was an iPad in front of me, a pen, a little stylus, and some hand sanitizer. And he was like, okay, well, go ahead and take a seat. Like the gentleman said, this is going to be a virtual interview. So I'm going to step out and then you'll see me on the iPad in just a few minutes. So I sat there in silence for a second. So he finally came into the room, or into his room, and we started the interview. Of course, we start by swearing in and saying that we're going to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. And so the very first thing is he's going to ask for your passport and your green card. So because we weren't in person, I just put him up to the screen, and he told me to hold it there for a second, so that I think he was taking screenshots of it, which I'm sure he had to. So I showed him my green card, and then I showed him my passport, and he was like, oh, Cepeda Vasquez was your maiden name? And I said yes. My last name is now Sturm. That was that. And then he just went straight to it. He was like, all right, are you ready for the civics test? And I said, I think so. Let's get it over with, because that's like the biggest chunk that everyone studies for, right? And I was just like, oh my god, I hope it's easy questions and not like the the questions with like the names of representatives and senators, like that one kind of freaked me out a little bit. I mean, I know them, but you know, you're always thinking like, I'm gonna get it wrong. So let me go through real quick and see what he asked me. Pregnancy brain is real. I'm 7 months pregnant, so I've already forgot what he asked me. So the 6 questions that he asked me were, what is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? We elect a president for how many years? And what month do we vote for the president? What else did he ask me? Name one problem that led to the Civil War. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? And what ocean is on the east coast of the United States? So those were my 6 questions. And halfway through them, I was like, are you serious? Like, these are the easiest. These are the easiest questions ever. I'm not complaining, but holy crap. Oh, my dog's barking at me. I'm in my driveway. So he asked me those questions and he was like, oh, great. Well, that's 6. You passed the civics test. Let's go ahead and go to the written test, or the reading test and the writing test. And so I think she's just barking at me. I don't know. And so he was like, okay, well, because I'm not in the room with you, I'm gonna have to print these off and you're gonna have to walk to the printer to grab them. So there's a printer in front of me, like behind plexiglass. So I had to walk behind his desk, I'm assuming his desk, and grab everything that he would print as we went along. So the first was a reading test, and he was like, okay, go ahead and grab the sheet of paper. And is it still recording? I think it's still recording. Okay. Sorry, my watch like closed the camera app, so I thought it stopped recording. But he was like, okay, well, go ahead and grab that sheet of paper, and can you read the first line on the sheet? And the first line was, who elects Congress? I think. So that was the reading test. I mean, that was it. And he was like, okay, well, in just a second, the writing test is gonna print out, so I need you to grab that. So here I am getting up again, waddling across the desk. And he was like, okay, well, grab the pen, and I want you to write, the people elect the Congress. Or the people elect Congress, I think. So I wrote that down, and then I had to show it up to him on the iPad, and he told me to stand still for a second, and he kept telling me like to move back and forward. So he was clearly taking screenshots of it and making sure that I spelled everything correctly. So that was that. That was the reading. That was the writing. That was the reading and the writing. Very simple. And so he goes, well, you're doing great so far. Let's go ahead and review your application. And so when we reviewed the application, he asked me, he asked me like the basic stuff, you know, like, can you say your full name, date of birth, social, phone number, your address, where do you currently live? Are you still currently employed by the same employer from when you applied? So I said yes. So he asked me what I did for a living. And then we got into like marital history and stuff like that. So how many times have you been married? Confirm your husband's name for me. He didn't ask me like how long I've been married or anything like that, or he didn't ask me like how long I've had my green card. Like those seem to be like questions that people got a lot. So he asked me that, and then he said, okay, you only have one child, Gabriel. And I said, well, yeah, I have one child now, but I have one on the way. And he even joked about it. He was like, yeah, I saw you all bundled up in there. And I was like, yeah, you probably saw me waddling down the hallway too. Like, he was really funny. He was very laid back. So if you're interviewing in Memphis, like, it's going to be smooth. All the officers there, everybody there is super, super nice. Maybe because it was bright and early in the morning. I don't know. But he was like, yeah, I could tell by the way you were all bundled up and everything. And I was just like, thanks. So that was that. And then right after that, he asked me, sorry, I'm telling you, pregnancy brain, I already forgot what he asked me. He asked me how many times I left the country in the past 5 years. And so I gave him all the dates, and that I've only been out of the country 3 times since 2018. I haven't been out since, obviously due to COVID, and I just hadn't had a chance to leave the country. So we confirmed the dates of when I left, when I went back home to Mexico to see my parents' sides of the family and all of that. And then right after that, he went straight to part 12 of the application. So these are all the questions that ask, like, have you ever claimed to be a citizen? Have you ever not filed taxes? Have you ever been part of a communist party, a terrorist organization, all that stuff? Ever been involved in genocide, torture, military units, a prison camp? Like, he literally, I feel like he asked me every single one of these questions because I was sitting there saying no for a long time. I was just like, nope, no, 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 no. I'm pretty sure he asked me every single one. I don't even know if he skipped any, to be honest. Because I feel like he asked me all of these questions that are on this page. So right after that was, let's see, the other questions under part 12, where it goes into, do you support the Constitution? Do you understand the full oath of allegiance and what that means? So all the yes questions, basically. Are you willing to bear arms if the law requires it? Are you willing to perform non-combat services? All that stuff. So those were all yeses. And then he was like, okay, well, you're doing great so far. I'm gonna print out a sheet for you and I need you to look at it and sign it. These are changes that we made to your application. And I was like, what changes? So when it printed off, it was the question, so I filed online, and I guess because of my date of birth, it didn't require me to answer these questions, so I left them blank. But it's the question under section, like part 12, question 13, between March 23rd, 1933 and May 8th, 1945, did you work with the Nazi government of Germany? Those three questions about like Nazi and government Germany. And I left them blank, but he said they needed to be filled out. So those were the only changes to my application. He put them all as no. He said, I'm gonna go ahead and put them all no unless you have a time machine. Like, that's literally what he said. And I was like, ha, you're funny. He was like, even though you weren't born then, we have to answer them. We can't leave anything blank. And I said, okay. I mean, it really wasn't my fault because the computer never asked me to answer those questions. So right after that, he printed off the oath, I think is what he printed off next. He printed off like the oath of allegiance, and he made sure I read it, understood it. And he told me, like, if you haven't seen this before, if you haven't had a chance to read it, please read it before you sign it. And of course I'd read it before. So I signed and dated that. And then I think I signed something else just confirming that everything on the application was true and I didn't lie on anything and there was no false information given and all of that. So I think that was it. And then after that, this beautiful thing printed out. I'm gonna cover my number, but this printed out here. And so basically the two check marks that I have are, you passed the English test and the U.S. history and government test. And then towards the bottom, congratulations, your application has been recommended for approval. And so he told me, well, you passed with flying colors. I mean, you're literally good. You will get a notice in the mail about your oath ceremony. So Memphis is not doing same-day ceremonies as some other places are due to COVID. So he told me to expect a letter in the mail. He said between 30 to 90 days, but he told me it'll be quicker than that. So we'll see. I'll see when that comes out. I'll get an email when the actual oath ceremony date comes through also, since I'm connected to the USCIS website. And I can see like my application process. So I'm just waiting on the oath ceremony, and I'm praying that it's not around the time that I'm about to pop, because I'm due in April. And then I'll be officially a citizen of this country, and I'm so excited. One thing I wanted to mention too is the timeline of my application. So this is I joined a couple of Facebook like support groups, you know, for like the N-400 application, and these are really great groups if you're studying or even need help with anything for applying for naturalization. Please join these Facebook groups, because, you know, people are posting every hour, every minute, literally asking like, hey, did anybody get this question? Or like people are posting their questions that they got asked, just so like you get an idea. I mean, it's obviously not going to be the same questions, but a lot of people help each other. They help each other fill stuff out. Like if you have questions about something, I try to help as much as I could. And also, I even asked some questions myself. So it's a really great group to be a part of. There were 2 people that were interviewed in Memphis just alone last week that I talked to through the group, and they really like made me feel better, because they were like, oh, it's gonna be quick and easy because every single officer in that office is like super nice and super laid back, and so that made me feel better. But back to my timeline. People post their timelines all the time on these kind of groups. I think it's like a thing that you just do when you talk in them or post about them, so I'm probably gonna post in a few minutes. But I had only seen one person that had like a quicker timeline than mine was. So I applied on November 3rd of 2020, and I remember because it was election day, and I made a sappy Facebook post about how I couldn't vote, so instead of voting I applied for naturalization. So I applied November 3rd. I got the receipt notice in the mail probably a couple days later. It says notice date November 3rd, but that's probably just the date they printed it. I don't remember like the exact date it came in my mailbox. So I applied November 3rd, and then December 10th I got the notice that says, hey, we received your form. This informs you that we're able to use your previously captured fingerprints and other biometrics. So I didn't have to go back in for a biometric appointment and getting all those fingerprints done and all the pictures done. So that came in December 10th, and then my interview notice came in a few days later, I think, December 16th. So I got it December 16th, and it said, please come to this address on Thursday, January 14th, 2021 at 8 a.m. Bring all of this with you. And yeah, so I don't know why my timeline was so quick. That was like what, 2 months and 2 weeks, 2.5 months. I know some people that applied way before me and they're still waiting on their interview. As well as people in the groups, you know, they'll post like, oh, I've been waiting since like September 2019. Has anyone ever heard? And I honestly, like, it just depends on the city, I guess. It depends on the state where you filed. I don't know. But mine was pretty quick. I'm not complaining at all, but I don't want to also seem like I'm bragging, you know. But it was very quick, and I mean, that's basically it. I don't know what else I have to say. So I'm just waiting on the oath ceremony, and maybe, gosh, I don't even know when it's gonna be, but I doubt they'll let, right now they're not letting family members or anyone in with you, so it's gonna have to be just me by myself. But maybe I'll post a video of the oath ceremony, just me by myself, like sitting in the little place. But that's it, you guys. So if you have any questions, I'm free to answer as much as I can. I mean, I'm still freaking out about it. I did not sleep at all last night. I literally stayed up watching Princess Diaries 1 and 2, and then it was 5 o'clock, and I was like, okay, well, let me study and shower and get ready. So I haven't slept, so I'm about to go take a nap. I'm about to go eat some breakfast, actually, and then, like a late breakfast, and go take a nap. But yeah, that's all I have. So if you're taking this interview soon, good luck. Do not stress out about the test like I did. It was literally the easiest part of the whole thing. Like, he was so quick with it, and luckily there were easy answers, right? But do not stress out over it. You will be fine. Obviously, you know your application, you know your name and all that stuff. So just good luck, and hopefully we'll all be citizens soon. So bye, guys. Good morning. So today is February 19th, 2021. My ceremony was supposed to be this morning at 7:30, but the office was closed today. So this is the week that the snowstorm really hit. On the website where they post like the offices that are closed, it showed on there that Memphis was closed Monday through Wednesday, and it wasn't on the list yesterday or this morning. So I assumed they were open, but pulling up, they said that there was water damage or something in the building this morning, so they just had to shut down the entire building, which is just my luck. So I'll be rescheduled in 2 to 4 weeks. So I guess I'll give everybody an update at that point. Right now I'm at Sam's Club trying to get some water. What a week. So see y'all in a couple weeks. Bye.
I was like, let's try it
Good
out.
morning.
Hi.
Today is March 11th, 2021. I'm officially an American citizen. Woo woo, woo woo. There's a certificate. My husband got me some celebratory Starbucks. Anyways, we almost got run over, even though we had the arrow to go. We got some Starbucks.
I'm almost done with mine.
We got my certificate. Now I got to apply for my passport and update my social security, update my license, all this stuff. The ceremony was really quick because of COVID. The officer came in, we did the oath, and then that was basically it. Just a small introduction. At the beginning, they talked about what to do with your passport and how to get your passport, how to update everything. So really excited. All right, hello everybody. We made it out. I made it out, and look at this. This is beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at this. I look cute. I look like a potato. So this picture is really old though, because they reused my biometrics, and that's the picture I took when I got my first green card, I think. So it's okay. But the ceremony went well. We got a packet of a lot of information, a passport application. Congrats on becoming a US citizen. So that's it. This is the end. We did it. I made it. I'm an American now, just like you.
Oh.
Okay, bye.